Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we will discuss how love can make evil and how to love without evil. There will be two parts to this, and this part will include the backstory of many modern-day romances. The first way that love can make evil is through expectations. This expectation usually begins during adolescence or pre-adolescence and occurs as a result of the different stories and fables of love and romance that many people are fed during this time. These can come in the form of romance novels, TV shows, or movies. Cinderella is a prime example. The stories usually present an unrealistic and idealized version of romance that raises a person's expectations so high that when they experience the reality of romance, especially young romance, the disillusionment is especially emotionally crippling, and a part of the soul is even damaged in the process. It is similar to the saying, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, because the higher your expectations, the harder the fall after a person's first experience with heartbreak. No one is ever the same, and every romantic encounter after that is played out to avoid the shame and misery that was felt during the first encounter with romance. It leaves a wound of cynicism that many times never heals and remains in the subconscious mind as a result of the heartbreak caused by high expectations. Many people are unable to love authentically and begin to see relationships as games of manipulation and spend the bulk of their relationships pretending to be who they believe their partner might want instead of who they really are. This is because of the high that many people feel when they are in love, which causes them to go to great lengths to achieve desirability in the eyes of the opposite sex. Many people are willing to change every single thing about themselves to receive validation from the opposite sex because they have come to rely on the opposite sex for a supply of love that they are unable to make for themselves. Now, how does this lead to evil? Well, the great lengths that many people will go to secure that feeling of wholeness they get from the opposite sex includes eliminating the competition by any means necessary. Many people spend their time dragging down others of the same sex in order to gain the upper hand in the competition for the opposite sex. This can include doing things like rumor spreading, name calling, career sabotage, being psychologically abusive, being physically abusive, and even being financially abusive. All of these evils are rooted in the reliance on the opposite sex for a supply of self-love that is supposed to come from within, caused by that time during adolescence that many people become addicted to the external and unstable supply of love given to them by the opposite sex. In order to remedy this sort of evil, a person must first lower their expectations of love from a young age so that the fall is not so emotionally crippling by being aware of the fact that the only real love is self-love, and they will not find the sort of unconditional love they are looking for in the opposite sex or anyone else for that matter. And then after that, the next step is to cultivate enough self-love never to be dependent on anyone else for a supply of love before attempting any sort of romantic relationship. The way to do this is first by practicing altruism or kindness daily until you become selfless and kind by habit, because the same way you love people who are kind, you will love yourself much more for being kind. And second, by spending time seeking truth and gaining knowledge to find your purpose in life. By becoming kind and intelligent, you increase your actual worth as a person and are able to live a more purposeful life. Not only this, but your worth and self-esteem will no longer be determined by the preferences of the opposite sex, and so there will no longer be a need to change your appearance or become evil in order to gain the upper hand in the competition for love, because you will love yourself enough never to need anyone else to love you. A person should only attempt a romantic relationship after reaching this point of total emotional independence and self-love, because that is the only way to build a healthy relationship free of evil. Thank you for watching, and in part 2 we will discuss more on how to love properly.